Hi, this is Steve Wagner, and I'm here with a brief overview of your best practices in human resource management group project. So in this project, you're going to be working with a group of other students to investigate a function or topic that you've been assigned. And so if you look in Blackboard, the title of your best practices group identifies the topic that you've been assigned. And you're going to be preparing a paper and a presentation about this topic. Now you should begin by looking in the textbook and getting a general overview of what that topic is. You can do that by looking at the table of contents or looking at the index. And as you read through your textbook, you may identify some sources. I do want you to go beyond your textbook. You should be using the library to find other books, case studies, journal articles, all of which should be included in your paper. You can also use internet sites as long as they are high quality. Now, you shouldn't just give me what's in your textbook and a few internet sites. I am expecting that you get into the library and do some research. Your presentation should address the practical implications of managing the topic you've been assigned within a contemporary organization. So there's two basic outcomes of this. One is a white paper that is just basically a professional research paper, and in it you should describe the best practices as well as the evidence that you found supporting those best practices. So what evidence that do you have that these are best practices? Does it come from a case study or some research study, some highly regarded expert? What is it? Okay. The paper should be 20 to 23 pages in length total, and that includes the cover page, executive summary, body, and references. It should be 12-point font and 1-inch margins, and it should be APA style. Now, when I talk about APA style, mainly I'm talking about how you do your citations of your sources in the body of the paper and how you format your references of those citations at the end of the paper. So those are the main things I want you to do in APA style. And if you look in the Blackboard assignments area of your best practices group project, you will see I have an internet site up there to help you if you aren't familiar how to do citations and references in APA style. Now, along with the white paper, you'll also be delivering an oral presentation as a group. So we're going to be using Blackboard Collaborate. That is a video teleconferencing software, and that's why I've asked that you have a webcam with a microphone, because I'm expecting you to deliver an oral presentation. And as a group, you're going to develop a PowerPoint presentation that parallels what you've written about in your white paper, and you're going to present that over Blackboard Collaborate. I'm expecting that each member of the group will present an equal amount of time. I'm looking for each person to talk for about 10 minutes. Now, if you look in the course syllabus, you'll see a rubric for how I will evaluate and grade this project. And so that's going to include describing the best practices and the evidence that they're based on, discussing the practical implications of managing the function you've been assigned within a contemporary organization. I'm also evaluating how well integrated your formal communications are. So does the paper look like you've worked together on it, or does it just look like 4 separate people have worked on this without communicating with each other? That would be bad. If it looks like it is a cohesive whole, then that would be good. Finally, I'm going to be looking at teamwork evaluations. So you'll be evaluating yourself and your peer members, and there's a form on Blackboard for doing that. And this is due after your final presentation. I'll also be looking at grammar and syntax. So again, if you look in the syllabus, you will see the levels of performance and how I will evaluate this. And it's always good to look at all of those rubrics. So for every assignment in this class, I have a rubric listed, and you should be familiar with them before you submit your assignments. Now, I do, in the assignment that's posted in Blackboard, identify major milestones. And so last week, hopefully you got familiar with the assignment and you started to get to know your group members by posting in your group's discussion board. This week, you should be developing a project plan that details the goals and the timeline. So it should, in there, you should talk about the specific roles for individuals. So who's the leader? Who is the scribe, the person who takes notes at your minutes? Who is an editor of the paper? Who is an editor of the PowerPoint? Those are all roles that you could use. Again, I'm not going to prescribe specific roles, but I do expect that each one of you will take a portion of the paper and write and present on it. You should do a project timeline, and so the timeline that I have here and in the assignment is a good starting place, but you should add to that other incidents, like when you're going to meet as a group. It's a good idea to have a regular meeting time. When you are going to have deadlines for drafts of the paper and the PowerPoint, and you should have that sometime before the actual deadline so you have time as a group to review each other's work and give each other feedback. In your plan, you should address communication tactics. How are you guys going to communicate with each other? Are you going to do it mainly by email? If so, are you using the Governor State email? If you have alternative emails, that should be shared. I think it's good if you can share phone numbers with each other so that you can text each other. Are you going to have regular meetings? So on and so forth. So you should talk about the communication tactics in your plan. You should also talk about the preliminary outline that you're using. So you should look at the topic and identify some major themes and identify who's going to be working on each part of that paper. Now, as we go forward with the major milestones, I am expecting to meet with your group on Blackboard Collaborate next week, and we will review your project plan. I will be posting videos on how to use Blackboard Collaborate. You should be participating in regular update meetings. So later in June, I'm expecting to have a second update meeting with your group. July 14th is the deadline for submitting the white paper and PowerPoint slides. You should put these in your group's file exchange area with the word final in the file name. And then finally, during the last weeks of class, you should schedule a time to meet with me and deliver your final presentation on Blackboard Collaborate. And then after that, you should be submitting your teamwork ratings. And there is a link to do that in the assignments area of Blackboard. So hopefully this gives you a good overview of what I'm expecting in terms of this assignment. If you do have questions, please do not hesitate to contact me, either by email or in the course questions discussion board, or phoning me either in my office or on my cell phone. All of that information is listed up in the instructors tab. So if you have questions going forward, please contact me. Thank you.